Hi guys, welcome back to this week's video from Bitesize Excel. Today we're going to look at two handy little functions that first appeared in Office 2019 that help you join text together in a much easier way than potentially using things like concatenate or the ampersand sign. If you've got an earlier version of Excel and want to know how to use these two functions, I'll link to some of my previous videos in the description below. But for now, let's move on to the two functions, which are CONCAT and TEXTJOIN. Now these two functions are really easy to use. Starting with CONCAT, what you need to do is you need to type in CONCAT, open your brackets, and then we start with the first bit of text that you want to join. Putting in a comma, you then need to add in, if you want to include any spaces or other delimiters, you will put these in between some inverted commas. So in this instance, we'll put in a space. Then you add in any other text you want to add, any subsequent delimiters, and once you've completed your function, you'll hit enter. And as you can see here, we've added Mr. John Smith from columns A, B and C all together in one cell. Moving on to TEXTJOIN, this is my personal preference to use. It is, in my opinion, a little bit easier. You start with TEXTJOIN, open your brackets, and then your first parameter is your delimiter. So this is the bit that you want to separate your individual pieces of text. In this instance, we want a space, so we're going to put that in between some inverted commas. The next parameter is either true or false. True is where you want to ignore empty cells, and false is where you wanted to include them. We're going to pop in true for now. There are no empty cells here, so it doesn't really matter. And then your last parameter is the text that you want to include, which you can either add in individually with commas in between or simply select a range. Once you've finished, hit enter and you'll see Mr. John Smith has gone in again. Now this becomes really useful when you've got much longer strings of text you want to join together. So in this second example, we're going to use it again and we're going to join all these together using a comma in between. So I put in my delimiter in my inverted commas, comma and then a space. Then I say I want to ignore any blanks, and lastly select all my cells. And when you hit enter, you can see they've all gone in with a comma in between. Now in our next example, we're going to take a look at where you can use it or how you can use it when your columns aren't in the correct order that you want to join your text together in. And this is where TEXTJOIN becomes really useful. So what you want to do is you want to start your function, TEXTJOIN. Then we're going to put in our delimiter, which we want to be a space. There are some empty cells here, so I definitely want that as true. And then firstly, we want the value in column D. So we're going to put D4 in first. Then we can select columns A to C in one range. And when we close our brackets and hit enter, you'll see that Mr. John Smith has gone in as it is above, without that additional space for the blank cell. And if we were to just copy it down, we can see that the second name has gone in, including the middle name that we've included in column B. Now if we were to change the value to false in our cell, it would include an extra space for that blank cell. So you can see now there's an extra space, but when I hit undo, it's a bit more obvious, the words become close together. So that shows you the difference between true and false. Now we can do the exact same thing with our concat function, but it's a little bit more clunky, which is why I prefer TEXTJOIN. So we can select our bits of text, add our delimiters in between, then add our column A, the second delimiter, so a space again. Now if I were to add in column B, I would get that additional space. So we'll just show that very briefly. And when you hit enter, you'll see there's the extra spaces in there. So I may either want to take out column 4 or simply use TEXTJOIN if I don't want those together. So if I drag it down, the second name appears in the exact same way. So that's been a quick introduction to our concat and our TEXTJOIN function. These can be really useful to help you concatenate your text. I hope that you found it useful. I'd love it if you left me a comment and let me know what you might like to see in future videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.